Hi, it's me. I'm back. It's raining inside, and my shirt's looking a little bit less white. My hat, I had dyed it. Used a liquid dye that I guess is for tie-dye, and I'm still figuring that out. And I felt like it probably needed a wash. I wanted to see what it would come out looking like. And I don't know why I did it, but I know enough not to throw my shirt or hat with this liquid dye into the washing machine. So I'm like, let me put my hat into, I think maybe I put both at the same time, and that was the stupid thing. But I put it into the sink and put some detergent into the sink as well, and just kind of hand washed it, and then my shirt ended up coming out a bit pink. So that's my clothing difference of the day. And yeah, I have a lot to talk about. I haven't made a video in a while. And I don't know if I will talk about all the things I have to talk about. One thing is that I bought this brand new 5 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive, and I'm gonna do this too. And so I uploaded a lot of videos to it, not a ton, but new ones that I hadn't yet edited or put on YouTube. And part of it was my problem. I had my laptop closed, and so I thought it was shut down, so I thought everything should be shut down. I pulled the hard drive out of the laptop, and I guess that completely corrupted the hard drive, and I lost the videos. I downloaded some other 3 different applications, programs that could go onto the hard drive and try and recover what was there, but nothing that I did worked. And eventually I just gave up. I was like, I don't know so however many hours of me blathering, I guess maybe that's a good thing that I lost that. But then I almost lost another video because I exported it, and this was part of the problem. I work with CapCut, and all of my desktop, I have 2 other hard drives that are very old, and I've run out of space on all of them because I also do all these driving videos that take a lot of space for the videos. And so I was running out of space. I was exporting on CapCut. I thought it had exported all the way, but CapCut does this stupid thing where it tries to give you both the 9 by I never remember if it's 16 by 9 or 9 by 16, but gives you this video, and then it tries to give you a long video this way, and it uses AI to do it, but you can only get it with a Pro, except the horrible thing is that CapCut still goes through the whole export process and actually puts it onto your computer in it should be a temporary file, but even once you've deleted things, the long form video stays there. So it was actually taking up a huge amount of my hard drive on my laptop, and I had to go in and figure out what was taking up all this space. And then I see CapCut taking up dozens and dozens of gigabytes of hard drive space, and then I had to find out, well, it's doing this because the program itself is not that big. So then I have to find the files, I delete that, but even after that, so what happens is that I was exporting the video, and I exported, and it was exporting to a hard drive. I still had a little bit of space, and I deleted the main file, and then, I don't know, it's all this, obviously, I can tell that you probably have no clue what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, I thought I lost the video. Luckily, it still happened to be in the temporary file of the main thing, so I still got the video, and I uploaded that, and I put that on Tuesday. But it's oh man, it's crazy. It's annoying. And that's one of the things. The other thing is that my car AC, there's major problems that I maybe will go into in another time. But I'm down, the fix for it was almost $2,000. So, F that. Horrible. And my car is probably not worth $2,000. That's the crazy thing. So I fixed my car. That's not worth the fix. But I don't have, it takes a bit. I've never myself gone out and bought a car, or, bought an old car, or got the payment plan, like, somehow throughout my life. And I've had a long life of driving cars, but somehow I always ended up with a car from someone else in my family. So they would be wanting to get another thing, or they would need one because theirs was breaking. And next thing I know, they're like, "You take this," and so the car has lasted a long time, but it's been big breaks and big expenses. And with all of that said, I'm gonna go into a show and tell. Oh my god, show and tell time. It's my art show and tell. So my first random thing that I've done, I don't know what to call this. This is an experiment. Everything that I do is an experiment. There you go. Interesting. Make of that as you will. There's the whole thing. So what does that mean? I don't put meanings onto this thing, though I did think about, I talk a lot about here, and I think a lot in my day-to-day about autism and masking, and autistic mask, and the masks that we wear in the world. So I have a feeling that came from my unconscious. I thought that's interesting. That's an interesting image, if nothing else. And like always, I don't have anything to say about it. And then some of the art that I put up on my wall, that I will continue, this will go up on there now. I imagine that I took some of these and talked about them and showed them, and now I don't know. I have no clue which ones I've talked about or which ones I haven't. I mean, I know the majority of them I've talked about and stuff, but again, it's annoying that I don't know what I lost. I have no clue. So here it is. I've decided to literally just start drawing on everything. This is part of my, I don't know if I want to say OCPD. My need to utilize everything before I throw it away. And if I've probably had, this is just sheets out of a notebook that I tore out. And I didn't want to throw away non-used paper. So I either have to destroy the paper, or this is again weird material. I don't know what. It's obviously cardboard, but I don't remember what it was from. But it was something that I kept, and I decided, let yourself be free, my friend, me, and just draw on everything. And then there's this thing here. My family, I don't know why we have so many of these like random list, notebook list, what do you call those things? Well, whatever you call them, we'll use them to, write down the grocery list. And so that ended up incorporated into the drawing. I drew this guy over here, and at first I thought, and what is it? Maybe it's a mushroom. No, I'll put eyes there. It's a person. And then I put that speech bubble coming out, the Z, sleeping, and I'm like, what? Doesn't make sense. Like, none of this is planned out. I just let myself think of different things, and then I kind of add to it as I go along. Which it's not a radical way of making art, but it's always fun when something comes out that I'm like, wow, it actually seems like it all goes together in a weird way in my brain. So I drew the heart. I already had buy food back there. And I had the Z's. And then I said, why is the guy seeing but his eyes are open? And I don't know why, still. And I decided to try and draw a brain in there, and originally the brain was going to be lacking again, because I'm always thinking about autism and ADHD. The brain was going to be lacking the prefrontal cortex, and so I originally drew it without the in black pen, without the prefrontal cortex. And so I was like, oh, okay. Because, autistic and ADHD, we don't lack a prefrontal cortex, but we have if you take the average or a bunch of autistic brains, what they found at some point, I don't know, they found this, I'm sure. They found that autistic people and ADHD people had a smaller, on average, I believe, prefrontal cortex. So that's partially why we lack executive functioning abilities, and partially why maybe our brains think differently, or our focus is different, and it makes life difficult and stuff. And but also, yeah, okay, I could go into that, but I'm not going to right now. So I put the little, and that's partially why I decided if it was autism, he needed a spicy brain, so I put some steam and stuff coming off the brain. Some of that activity was getting vibrating. And then I was like, well, something in the body, something has to happen in the body. And so I gave him a heart. And then for a second I was very annoyed. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why does it say buy food back there, and why is he asleep? And none of this makes sense, and I hate myself. And then I said, the heart must be, of course this is backwards. Yeah, actually I didn't realize. So actually this is backwards, it says buy food. Obviously you figured that one out by now. And the heart is saying, I'm hungry. And pretend that you see this the right way, not flipped. So the heart is saying, I'm hungry. And I still was kind of annoyed. I was like, why didn't I make it a stomach? That makes no sense. Why is the heart hungry? But in a lot of ways that does make sense. Maybe this guy is very lonely. No, the heart is hungry, and food represents other human beings or something. I don't know. And then there are eyes up there for some reason. But I think it works. It all worked. I like it. It's not grand, amazing art. How do you put it? It's not high art. It isn't high art, but it's my art, and I like it. So I guess maybe I'll talk really quickly about the last kind of thing. One of the last things that I had to talk about. I could go into the whole car thing, but the car thing is just sad and annoying. And I thought that would be before I got my next thing that I'm going to talk about. I thought that would be my autistic talking, because I had some issues with, actually more ADHD. I had major issues with figuring out the whole car situation because of my issues. But what I'm going to talk about is that I went and saw with my family the movie Inside Out 2. Good movie, really short, and I remember I actually think that I care less and less for Pixar movies. I don't think they ever were really that. I like them, but they just, outside of like, I don't know, some of the originals, where when 3D animation was brand new and it was like a spectacle, I think that now, I don't know, all I can say is that I'm not anti-Pixar, but I don't care. I watch the movies, I go, that was nice, and then they don't stick with me, really. They're not, like, great. So, what I wanted to say, though, besides I don't really want to talk about the movie itself, more the difficulties of getting there, or getting the tickets and everything. We never buy tickets from the kiosks, and I hate kiosks. I hate doing anything on any of these machines, because very often they're broken or they just don't work very well. Well, once we got the tickets, I wanted to get popcorn and a drink. So I knew, because I've said this before on this channel, last time I went to the theater, I freak out. I have to know how much things cost. And this time I said, you know what, I don't give a shit. I know what I want to get, and I'm gonna pay whatever it takes. And we went on a Tuesday here. I think this might be all over, but at least for here, Tuesdays are half days, so you can get your ticket half price, and I think popcorn is half price, and possibly the drink, but maybe not. So I just decide, like, I'm gonna pay whatever I'm gonna pay. That's fine, whatever, okay? So I'm not gonna let that be a problem. Well, this time, everything went alright. But I got weird vibes from the girl that was serving, or whatever her position is. She was the person that was doing the stuff. And I don't want to, like, overthink my life. I don't want to overthink every human interaction that I have. At first it was okay, and I go in and we watch the Inside Out movie, and I eat the popcorn, and I eat almost all of it. I finally give the guys serve that guy behind you. And a part of me is like, why'd she say it like that? What does she mean? That guy? You mean that human being? And I'm only kind of joking, like the way she said that guy. And I'm like, oh, am I like, did I bother her? Am I a bother? Did I like, because there was a weirdness. I thought I was being polite, and I thought that I was being normal when I ordered the popcorn and drink. But, you know, the one girl goes away, and then I go up to this person, and I go, you know, I need a popcorn refill. And she's like, you know, and she doesn't say anything. She just goes, and goes to the popcorn and gets me and comes back. And she does this thing where she goes, sorry if that made noise, but like, I don't know, I can't recreate it, but not in a mean way, not in a making fun of me way, or not in anything, but just in a weird, it was a weird thing, the weird way that she gave it to me. And I'm like, again, maybe overly thinking, but it was I just was like, what am I to this person? And am I acting weird? And is her weirdness a response to am I being weird? And I'm like, maybe I'm overly polite, maybe I'm too polite, maybe I'm rigid, maybe I'm standing up too straight, maybe I'm like, and again, this is like, obviously, yeah, I think I've said this every time I've gone to the theater, it's not a big deal. I know it's not a big deal. I know not every human interaction is a big deal, even if it doesn't work out that well. But I can't help but when things like this happen, I can't help but think like, was that me? Did I do something? Was this just a weird interaction between two people? What was this? Nothing. I mean, there's a part of me that wishes I was the type of autistic person that was very unaware of these things. You know, I'm sure that wouldn't be great either, but I'm so overly attenuated to watching and trying really hard to do things right and get things right. And it just sucks because it plays in my mind even, you know, afterwards. And now this is Friday, and when this happened was this past Tuesday, so it's been like 4 days. Did she think that I was trying to? The other thing, I don't know if I said this, but if I now realize that a long time ago I would make way too much eye contact, because that's what I was told that you're supposed to do. Like, remember, you know, look people in the eyes. That shows that you're confident. You know, don't be looking away like this. You know, but I think that early on in my life, I realized that people were scary. I didn't know what to do around them, and so I'm just like, I'm gonna keep my distance. And so eventually you get told, if you are the shy, quiet kid, and that's all people perceived me as, just shy and quiet. And so, you know, look people in the eyes, be confident, do this, do that, whatever. And I would, you know, try. But then I would go, oh, okay, look people in the eyes. And that's not what they meant. And then I realized, you know, I think again, unconsciously, I realized that for some reason, me smiling, which is nice, smile nice and look people in the eyes, and that shows that you're a good person, and they're a good person, and you're like friendly. And however, if you do that and you look like me, you've got my body type and build and everything, and you do that with guys, they perceive you to be gay and hitting on them. And then you might even, some women will also perceive that as gay, or no, some women will perceive that as you hitting on them. And now, a part of me now goes, fuck it, I'm just gonna do, I don't wanna fucking think about this shit anymore. So I'm gonna look people in the eyes, and just go, and whatever happens at me, or I'm not, whatever I feel like in the moment. However, obviously, I still can't help but constantly question other people's motives or vibes, or what vibe I'm putting out, because I do want to know. It bothers me not knowing. Walking out that movie theater and coming home, I want to know if I was doing something weird. Not so that I can stop myself from doing something weird, but just so I can know. I just want to know. But also, if I'm giving eye contact that makes people think that I'm hitting on them, or that I'm about to, when I know that I'm not, and that I don't want to, I want to know that too. And maybe I do want to alter my behaviors a little bit, but only, I don't want to be the creepy guy, or the weird guy, or the annoying guy. And again, it could have meant nothing. It could have been she was just working, and I was just a guy, and she's not thinking at all. And I think, the problem with holistic and regular people is that they really aren't thinking at all. If you stop them and ask them, well, what did you mean by this? They'll just be like, I have no idea. And that's why they often say things like, be yourself, or not be yourself. I don't know. They speak in a way that makes it sound like they're not thinking of, just do it. What's the problem? Just do the thing. And it makes you realize, oh wow, they don't have to think about this stuff at all. They will make mistakes. Maybe even she was being weird. Maybe she was the weird one. God, who knew that I could be so triggered by going to the movie theater? That seems to be a common thing for me. I guess that's one of the rare times I really don't do anything anymore in my life. It makes coming up with things to talk about here kind of difficult. That's why I go to Reddit so often. But yeah, I guess that besides me going out to Uber Eats, going out and doing Uber Eats as working, I don't really do anything in my life right now. I'm a boring person. Guys, let me tell you about the time that I went to a movie theater and had issues. But that kind of tells me something about how many issues I've had, or how every interaction for me has always been laced with am I doing this correctly? Is this right? So I was just sitting here. I'll integrate this somewhere in the video, but I was just sitting here just thinking, this is the third time I've brought up going to the freaking movie theater and feeling weird and uncomfortable. And yeah, it makes me feel strange. I don't know. So that's my life. Have a good life, have a good day, have a good week, I don't know when I'll see you again, but I hope to see you soon.